Hi guys, and welcome to obviously the crystal healing lesson 1, should I say. So, before you actually get into crystal healing, I jotted down a few things that you might need or that you might want to ask yourself. So, why do you want to learn? What is your end goal? Keep a diary or, well, in fact, keep both. Keep a diary of meditations with crystals and keep a diary of what you have bought, how many you have, any feelings, things like that. I would probably keep them separate, but not together. You only need a small book, or you can even do it in your phone. It doesn't need to be, fancy or anything like that. Meditate every day with your crystal because it's really important to get in touch with the crystal's feelings. You can pop it if it's small enough under your pillow and it'll bring answers to your dreams. Now, the nature of crystals. So I guess crystals are actually, they are exactly what I put they are. They are the mineral kingdom of Mother Earth. And without them, Mother Earth wouldn't grow what she grows. Obviously, this book is available for you to grab. So you can always grab it. You could always screenshot. Feel free. Don't think that you can't screenshot because you can. I really don't mind that. The world's ever changing just as crystals are. Crystals are ever changing too. And they kind of work in unison with Mother Nature. They'll provide Mother Nature the things that she needs and vice versa. Again, they are the foundations of life force itself from within because they are huge. Well, the best ones, they're in the crust. So, and obviously everything grows up from there. This is why people often mistake the fact crystals are living. Yes, they are alive. They are a life force in themselves. Every crystal is very different, which we'll see along the way. Now, obviously, the sun provides light. The light is the energy, and that's how things grow. Well, that's what crystals basically are. They're solarized light because what they do is they take in the full sun's rays for them to grow. And yeah, they can grow pretty big over the years. It can take a long time for some to grow. Now, ancient Atlanteans taught crystal healing as part of everyday life. And it said they had a highly developed interstellar communication basically with the crystals so that they could harness the crystal's power. Now, when they begin to harness it, obviously things go a little bit wrong because they decide to use it for bad. Because that's what happened, unfortunately, the powers of the interstellar communication was lost. And I do mean interstellar as in, I guess people would say alien-like, but it wasn't really that. It was just another form of Mother Nature communicating with her, I guess, through the crystals. So, yes, your crystal energy will lie dormant. You have to unlock its potential. No one else can do that. Not just that, please don't put them in a box and hide them away. They don't like it. They prefer to be touched. They like to be out. They're pretty. They want to be, they want to have that energy. It's really important that no negative energy goes into the crystal. And I know some people have asked, well, can ghosts get like trapped in crystal? Yes, absolutely. But if you treat your crystal correctly, if you attach your energies with your crystal, then no, there'll be none of that. Unless you desire so, which I wouldn't, but some people, I guess, will. Now, every single day you must work with one crystal at a time. You don't need to have 20 million crystals here, there, and everywhere. You really don't. You can start with a quartz, so you can start with a selenite. I'm going to show you some of these anyway in a different video, not this one. And as you can see, the potential right there is right at the side because believe it or not, there's so much potential in a crystal. You have to give that crystal pure love and positive energy. Hold it with your left hand. Obviously, it's kind of like Reiki. You're taking the universe's energy and you're pushing it through yourself into your crystal, and you can actually hold it over your heart. Crystals will help us with our intuition. They'll help us with learning how to control our ego. They'll help us in our higher self, in our spiritual self, but also obviously internal healing, not just external as well. So now all crystals, they do have a purpose. Some are more evolved than others, obviously. Diamonds are like the above all, because they are very, very well evolved. But the others that are less evolved, the dull ones and the ones that may not seem as pretty, they actually are still needed. The reason they're needed is because they will bring a different vibration and a different meaning. And that's what's needed, because just on its own, it may not. But if you put it with something else, then yeah, it's going to emphasize everything, you know. So I don't know why I put pile. I have to ignore that because it means pure. The pure light that passes through a crystal, it goes in wavelengths. Now, yes, crystals do get their colour via inclusions. We'll get to that later. But it's the wavelengths that get filtered through the crystal that actually changes. So basically, when white light passes through with no interference, you're going to get your translucent, the clear quartz type crystal. And when some of them pass through, you might get an opaque translucent crystal because there's partly some through, partly some are not. Now, when all wavelengths are absorbed, this will produce black. So because there's no wavelengths being absorbed, you are going to get black in colour. And obviously if green's absorbed, you'll get green. If orange, you'll get orange. The only difference is diamonds and upper class, like fire opal, which is very expensive. These can actually filter out what they want to take in and what they don't, and they can change it. They can do that themselves. That's what produces the rainbow. That is what makes it connect to the whole body. So they should be used on their own because they are extremely powerful, and if you place them center, they will connect to all your meridians, all your chakras, which again is something else we'll look into later on. So crystals are classified as minerals, but not all minerals are crystals. And that's very true. And the reason being is because some minerals are man-made. I believe I have titanium ore, and I do believe it's a cube, Xeon cube or something. They are man-made. Can still be used as a healing tool, but they are man-made. So that's why. The difference, obviously, then you've got your coral, your amber, and your pearl. Now, they are not classed as crystals. The reason being is they are very different. They're on a very different vibrational level. Coral, obviously, and pearl's a sea, so it gives a different energy again. That's why they are minerals and not crystals, because the crystals are the ones with a regular atomic structure forming crystalline patterns. So what it means is your crystals are the ones that are nice and pointy and all shiny when you take them from the ground, and they've got all those little points on them, and they're like a cluster. Those are crystals. The others, because they are, when they're taken out, they're just whole one thing. They don't have all the points on, they don't have the inclusions, they don't shine, they don't sparkle, they don't have that cluster effect. They're not crystals. Obviously, an unpolished crystal, which is a raw crystal, is one of the best to actually work with. And people usually think because it's the most powerful, well, actually, it is, but that's because it's passed through less energies. When you get a polished crystal, that is a stone, it's usually passed through a lot of energies and it may have worn down over time. An unpolished raw one, it has not. And obviously the clear quartz is balanced and it can heal all, but it's also very, very good for putting with other crystals so that it can emphasize the other crystal's power. And it can also emphasize the healing power, of course. So they are basically living computers because they have the ability to absorb, they store, and they release energy. And like I said before, computers would not exist without these crystals. That's what's in your computers. It's actually quartz. The quartz is like it's a silicon. So it's a silicon chip that is made of quartz. So yeah, that's why we have computers and then their programming and how it works. It's all from a quartz. And I think that's amazing. I really, really do. I think it's probably one when I first started learning, it's one of the things that made me go, oh my gosh, wow. You know, I thought it was really good. And now the quartz family, by the way, is actually a pretty big family. And it's made up of one atom of silicon and two oxygen atoms. The words oxygen, yes, it's living. Oxygen. They combine forming silicon dioxide, and most crystals will be in the quartz family. They'll be called something different, but they'll be in there. The mineral kingdom itself makes up 12 sort of percent of the Earth's crust. And when I say the mineral kingdom itself, what I mean is the quartz part of the mineral kingdom. So these are all your group of quartz. You may want to take note of these, write them down. It's always very good to have a diary, especially the ones that you're interested in buying, because later on we are going to get into the whole process of what they do, what they look like, how they feel, etc. So you can absolutely take all that down. Like I say, you can screenshot it. I really don't mind. Now, this is what I was saying. Here we have sort of the other types of crystals, because you have your macro, you have your micro, and then you have your agate, which your micro does come in the chalcedony sort of range. And as you can see right there, tells you which ones, and it tells you what they look like and where you might find them. Again, it's probably a good idea to screenshot so you can take those down. And obviously then we're on to the last group, which is the agates, which there's not many in there anyway. So inclusions. Now, inclusions, believe it or not, are basically what we call mistakes. But they're not though, are they? That's the thing. It is seen as that though, or a facet, an inclusion or a facet, or and what it is for you got your amethyst and it'll have inclusions of iron, for example. But when you put that amethyst to several hundred degrees of heat, it will turn into a citrine because of the iron in it. And that's what an inclusion is. You know, when you look at your crystal and you see those little lines and stuff, that is what your inclusions are. And I do believe I have wrote a few down, like your rose quartz are. It's got your titanium or your manganese, and that's the inclusions in a rose quartz that makes it a rose quartz and not just a quartz. Your double termination. Now, if you look at the picture, those are inclusions right there. They have inclusions in them, as you can see. Like I say, people do say they're imperfections, but they're really not. They are actually needed. Now, a double termination basically means double pointed. There is a point at each end, and it does go into more detail in this if you want to screenshot it, to the size and how it grows and what it has to grow. And it's a lot to take in, so it might be something you want to sit and sort of gather your thoughts before you go into any more detail. But basically that's what double termination is. It's on either end. It'll be on either end because it will have grown in clay and it'll have grown sideways. So it won't grow up, it won't grow down, it'll grow side to side. Therefore, you'll get your 2 points. Now, when they grow, like I said, they do grow in triangular form, and that's why I put it all down here, because there's some big words, teatrodron, which is basically a triangle, obviously, and they will all be the same size. I believe it's 60. That's just how they grow. But these, bear in mind that this is only for your double-ended quartz, so it's not necessarily every single crystal you pick up. It's usually the double termination, the double pointed. Now, that's because generally double points have a lot of power because they can use both ends to draw in, draw out, to heal. And to be fair, you can put, so if you had a point, you could put it down as a central, put all your crystals around it, and it's going to charge every single one of those crystals because of the power inside it. Honestly, they are absolutely amazing for that. You could put it central to the body, and you would put crystals above it, crystals below it, but you wouldn't need crystals to the side of it because that would be enough to go through the whole center of the body. Now, there's your rock crystal, which is a quartz, but they do call it rock crystal, and that's said to have the highest of the highest healing abilities. Obviously, it's still attached to its rock, so but I do believe they call it mountain crystal as well. And this is where things can be a bit odd, because left is feminine and right is masculine. So it's basically, as you can see, the spiral. When it's spiraling to the left, and you'll find there's a little facet or a little dent, let's say, in the left side, usually that's left-handed, feminine. If it's grown and it's hit the right, you'll see a right indentation, which is a facet, and that'll mean it's your right hand and it's masculine. Do you have to use that? No, you don't. But it's just information for you to know, just in case that's what you want to do. And obviously, that's the end of that. I advise you to screenshot, because I did want to obviously go through a little bit with you, but there is a lot more information in there that you might find interesting. I didn't want to go really in depth with the science part yet, because I think it might be too much. And obviously, before we start lesson 2, I am definitely going to jump on and show you some crystals and go into a bit more detail. And I hope that you enjoy it anyway, because I really enjoy giving it, even though the dogs barked, and I apologise. And yeah, I'm sorry if there's slight spelling mistakes. It's probably me. I've not checked it properly, as usual. Anyway, love and light, and thank you so much.